Okay, so here's the arguments. Dress codes in schools and business build on the idea that what a person wears reflects self and culture of the school or business. And so here, how does that tie in then to my thesis, do you think? Do you see a direct tie-in? Is it obvious? Guys, it's okay to critique this. It's all rough. I don't take anything personal about my own writing.
What was the question?
Do you see it connect with my thesis? How does it support the idea that modesty in women is to help their Christian brothers?
Yes.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you see it?
Because, like, if you go to a business and there's, like, girls who are working there that are, like Hooters,
Mm-hmm.
you obviously see that the whole company as a whole doesn't really, it reflects the whole company doesn't really care. They obviously want attention for how their girls are dressed, or else they wouldn't have them wearing what they're wearing.
Exactly. It sets up a culture. Good. I'm glad you were able to do that because, to be honest, I thought this statement was rather difficult to connect. And so the fact that you saw that helps feedback for me. So that was great. Okay. This is my main argument here, okay? But then I've got, this is evidence. Here's more evidence. This is another part of the argument that'll go back up here. And then here's some more evidence and evidence, okay? And then I've got parents still fight the dress code. Many students are unaware of the purpose of dress code. Is it freedom of speech? That kind of thing. Now, this is part of the handout that I've given you. So you want to go to that first. And feel free to write on these. These are yours. All right. Thesis, modesty in a woman's more than just protecting herself. It's being respectful of Christian men. There we go. Now, many people believe dress codes are an imposition of one's own freedom of expression. It is the idea that one loses oneself once she dresses outside her personality. Now, that's not directly, if you guys look, it's not directly off my outline, is it? What kind of a statement is that, do you think? Right here. I suppose it's kind of a trick question. It's the opposing view. Yeah, it's what other people say that would argue with my position, that dress is a way of expressing yourself, and that to put limits on dress is to put limits on self-expression. It is the idea that you lose yourself once you dress modestly, okay? Then I went on and I said, however, dress codes in schools and business build on the idea that what a person wears reflects self and culture of the school or business. Now this is my actual point A right there, okay? And then I go on to talk about how culture refers to the idea that there's a certain look, presentation that businesses want. IBM came out. I don't know if you guys knew this, but IBM came out and there was this certain IBM look. And everybody knew who worked for IBM because of the way they dressed. Okay, now if you notice though, my comment here, after I'd written this out, I realized it really didn't support my thesis. So I had already gone all the way down this argument and went back and realized that this paragraph has nothing to do with my thesis. Do you see how it goes totally off topic? And so I highlighted it in red for you guys to see a whole chunk that I'm going to take out. Okay? Do you notice I also am I'm writing in single-spaced? Because at this point, I'm more interested in proving my point than worrying about page length. Okay? And I would encourage you guys to do that. Don't pay attention to page length. Pay attention to what you want to prove. How are you proving it? Do you have the evidence? Do you address the opposing view's concerns? Then you can worry about page length when you get to the end. Hunter, did you have a question?
Well, I was going to say that, instead of you're like, it kind of sounds like you're focused on Christian men.
Uh-huh.
But in society today, outside of Christian, it's like that's the norm of dressing. Like Taylor said, like Hooters, and they just want the attention.
Yes.
That's how most girls are. They just want they dress for attention. Like public schools and stuff. Because I went to public school for a long
I did
time.
too. Yeah.
And girls would just dress for attention. They just dress for the attention of the guys.
Yeah.
And, like for their boyfriends and stuff.
Now remember, when you're writing for an audience, when you're writing a paper like this, you have to pick your audience. Okay, and so for mine, it's in particular Christian young ladies. Because Christian young ladies have more of a stake. If I was talking to the public in general, I would have to change my tone a little bit. I would have to change what I say. Well, it's not even so much offense, because I've had these kinds of conversations with public school girls, and they are concerned. This, I'm just narrowing the focus for the purpose of the assignment, so you guys have a sample. If I were to do this for a published paper, I would probably expand my audience a lot more. So, yeah, point taken. Okay, so here I kind of go on a rabbit trail. Even now it is the look for lawyers, bankers. When a person wants to look successful, he dresses for success. Now, you can kind of see how this is, it just doesn't go with my thesis, kind of like what Hunter was saying. I'm talking about Christian men and women, not the whole world in general. So my plan is to take that out. Okay. So then, let's see if we can, yeah, there we go. I go down to here where it says, losing oneself might imply that there is a self to lose easily based on how that person looks. Now, do you see how that sentence doesn't flow? It's kind of choppy. But that's okay. I've got it down. That's the idea I want. Just because a woman has natural colored hair doesn't mean her purple hair personality is lost. She may still be outspoken about her opinions or have a quirky sense of humor. Ultimately, she will have to decide what showing her personality is really worth. A person doesn't lose herself just because she is modest. Okay, now, if you guys will look at my comment there, after some thought, I realized that this was my key point in my paragraph. And actually, I had reread this like 5 or 6 times, and then I had my daughter read it. Okay, now I've been writing for 20 years, been teaching English for 20 years. My daughter's only been an English major for like 3 years. Why would it still be important to have her read my paper and critique it? What do you think?
You always want more than one person to read.
Why is that though? Why is it good to just even have just about anybody who can read? Why would it be good to have another person read?
To like catch something that somebody else didn't.
Exactly. It's a fresh mind. It's a fresh perspective. Your brain, regardless of how well you write, your brain is going to fill in what's not there. And so to have a fresh perspective, look at it and kind of express, hey, this is kind of confusing, blah, blah, blah. Well, my daughter, when she was looking at this, she goes, so Mom, what you really mean is a person doesn't lose herself just because she's modest. And I went, oh, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say. And so I put it in there because she saw kind of while my brain was going in 5 different directions, she saw that it came down to that particular point. And so I wanted to make sure and put it in there. But it also helped lead into the rest of it. Now, I had inserted that after I had gotten all of